Hi, my name is Leah Day, and welcome to this video for the Dancing Butterfly Quilt. Today we are stitching out Amazing Daisies, a fun foundational design that incorporates flowers and rows of alco quilting to fill your quilt. It's really pretty, but it's a little tricky. So let's get some tips on how to get started before we start quilting. So here's the worksheet for Amazing Daisies, and you can see the beautiful texture this design has. If you're looking for this paper guide, you can find it in the Dancing Butterfly Quilt pattern. You can actually click right here and go to leahday.com to pick up this pattern right now. And it's going to come with 24 worksheets like this, so you can practice tracing and free motion quilting these designs at home. So here's the design, and the number one thing that I want you to understand is that this looks really complex, but it's actually broken down into pretty simple steps. The first step is to stitch basically a wiggly line through your quilting space, and I know it might be kind of hard to see where that wiggly line is in all of this, but it's in here. It's kind of like down and then through like that. And then within that wiggly line, you're going to mark out where you want to put your daisies and kind of plan those out. And I kind of plan mine, one in the middle and then two towards the ends. You also want to plan out where the petals are going to end. So also mark a line that's going to be at the midpoint between those two flowers and these two flowers. That way you know you're not going to extend your petals and make them overlap one another. So once you get your line and you know where your flowers are going to go, you stitch right back along that line and fill in your daisy. Then keep stitching and fill in your next daisy. You're forming those petal shapes. And then form the next one, and then that's your foundation. That's your foundation set in stone, ready to go, and all you do from there is just travel, stitch, and echo. And we bounce around these shapes, fill up one whole side and then the opposite side. Now that's a lot of steps, now a lot to remember, so definitely spend some time tracing and practicing this idea on paper first. Now let's move to the machine and I'll show you how to stitch it in free motion. To begin stitching the design, all you do is stitch down that wiggly line, get to your first mark where you've decided that you want one of your flowers to go, and stitch petals around it. I'm going to stitch down and get to the next one and show you exactly what that looks like. So I'm coming all the way down, and now I'm going to swing out and around. Make nice, long, beautiful petals. I actually kind of made a mistake with that first flower shape, my first daisy. I wanted those petals to extend to this line, and I kind of forgot what I was doing, and I made it a little smaller. It's no big deal if you do that. It's absolutely no big deal. I'll show you how to fix it. But I really wanted you to see how to make these nice, long petal shapes, stretching out and around. If you're worried about it fitting, and filling, go ahead and fill one going this way, and then that way you have kind of your space marked out and you know what size petal to fit into this shape. Kind of makes it just a little bit easier to fill that. Oop, I stitched off the line a little bit. No big deal. I'm going to leave it. Okay, so now I'm going to swing around and fill in this side just the exact same way. Adding these petals, stretching them out, making sure they're stitched on a nice big scale so the quilt remains soft. So now for the second part of this design, I'm going to travel stitch over, swing in, and kind of bounce against the petal or that foundation line. Come down and bounce between two petals. Swing out and around. Now, of course, my scale is not exactly a half of an inch here. Sometimes I have to shrink it down a little bit. That's why we wanted to stitch those petals so big, because the echoes can sometimes get locked up a bit. So that's it for Amazing Daisies. I really hope that you enjoyed learning this beautiful flowery design. Understand that the way it flows is very organic, and so there's no right or wrong way to stitch those echoes. Sometimes you might have to do a little bit of travel stitching to get where you're going, but ultimately this design is going to flow and fill very organically, no matter where you put it in your quilt. So my name is Leah Day, and this has been a video for the Dancing Butterfly Quilt. Click right here to go to leahday.com and pick up your copy of the Dancing Butterfly Quilt pattern. In this pattern you will find 24 designs plus butterfly blocks, and you'll learn how to applique and free motion quilt. So definitely click here, go to leahday.com, pick up your pattern, and join me as we learn together. Until next time, let's go quilt!